Okay, so to more details now on the Integrity Commission's report. There are questions about the appointment, or there are questions about whether the appointment to key positions at PETROJAM between 2016 and 2018, whether they were corruption-enabling mechanisms. The Commission describes as tainted and stained with irregularities the employment to key positions of several individuals. Giovanni Dennis reports.
Who placed this ad in the Sunday Gleaner of January 1, 2017? A question still on the mind of David Gray, Director of Investigations at the Integrity Commission. This is the ad that PETROJAM's former HR manager Yolande Ramharak said she responded to, but it was not placed by the company's HR department, nor does it contain the official email address for the department, which is hrd@petrojam.com. In fact, the HR department was unaware of the ad. This is one of several questions highlighted in the Integrity Commission's two-part report on PETROJAM. The report highlights instances of nepotism, gross improprieties, and irregularities in the recruitment of Mrs. Yolande Ramharak, Mr. Clayton Smith, her brother, Mrs. Michael Daly, Reverend Dorothy Grant, and Mr. Olivier Cole to PETROJAM. We start with former HR manager Yolande Ramharak. The report says the circumstances in which Ms. Yolande Ramharak was recruited are stained with irregularities. The report notes that Mrs. Ramharak failed to meet the minimum educational requirements. The report says the utilization of Mr. Richard Creary, former director of PETROJAM Limited, as a member of the panel which interviewed Mrs. Ramharak was irregular, as he did not possess the requisite skills and competence to contribute to her selection. The selection of Dr. Lowell Dilworth as a member of the interview panel exhibited a stark disregard for the policies of the entity. Dr. Dilworth is a chemical pathologist by profession and plays no role, has no function at and no affiliation with PETROJAM, and like Mr. Creary, did not possess the requisite skills and competence to assess Yolande Ramharak's suitability for the position. Clayton Smith, brother of Yolande Ramharak. The circumstances in which Mr. Smith was recruited as an instrument and electrical technician to PETROJAM are also stained with irregularities and nepotism. The Integrity Commission report says PETROJAM breached its recruitment policy by hiring Mr. Smith, although he did not score above the desired grade of 75% on the competency tests. Mrs. Michael Daly. The report says the circumstances in which Mrs. Daly was recruited as the telephone operator receptionist to PETROJAM is highly irregular. PETROJAM employed Mrs. Michael Daly notwithstanding the fact that she did not provide evidence of her stated academic qualifications. She had previously worked in the constituency office of Dr. Andrew Wheatley. Reverend Dorothy Grant. The report says the circumstances under which Reverend Dorothy Grant was hired as a counselor at PETROJAM was tainted with irregularities and improprieties. Reverend Grant was described as providing chaplain services. But the report says the need for such services did not arise as Family Life Ministries was already contracted by PETROJAM to provide those services. Olivier Cole. The report says the circumstances under which Mr. Olivier Cole was hired as project director of the vacuum distillation unit project at PETROJAM were highly irregular. It says the Ministry of Finance did not approve the position of a project director for the vacuum distillation unit VDU project. It also says Mr. Cole's application for the position of process engineer was rejected by the first interview panel on the basis that he lacked the requisite knowledge and industry experience. The report notes that Dr. Bahadur Singh, Dr. Ike Johnson, seen here in the bridal party photo for Dr. Bahadur Singh, and Yolande Ramharak interviewed Floyd Grindley for the position as general manager. Floyd Grindley, after being appointed as the general manager, was part of the three-member panel which recruited Yolande Ramharak as the human resource manager, the position that oversees the grant of donations by the entity as well as the recruitment of staff. And so the Director of Investigation is questioning whether the strategic placement of certain individuals in key positions at PETROJAM served as corruption-enabling mechanisms. Giovanni Dennis, TVJ News.